Right. Welcome everybody to the Phoenix Smite League. My name is Philly, and with me I have the wonderful Thor's himself.
Hey Billy, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you? You enjoyed your Father's Day?
Yeah, it was a pretty good Sunday. Was able to go
Good,
out to
man.
dinner and come on back and be here.
And you caught me at the perfect time to jump right into a nice little Smite game, huh?
Absolutely. So
So, as I say, what we got going on?
tonight we have one of our sets played. This is Souless Prodigeys versus Plat in Duel. So we're going to see a two-game set come out of these teams. And as we know, we run in a series of two-game sets, and you earn points per win. And it just runs off throughout until you've played everybody in your division. And then we'll have a playoffs.
Nice. All right, let's get it done then. I mean, it looks like. I mean, let's be honest. We're already getting pretty started on these P's and B's. What are you thinking out of these bans here so far? I mean, it looks pretty standard for the meta right now.
Yeah, it does. This looks pretty standard. We see 3 warriors banned away and a Ganesh. And that Ganesh to me seems a little bit like a luxury ban right now. When Bellona goes away, you typically take away Osiris. Robin, he's annoying. He's not the end-all be-all anymore, but he's still annoying. So these bans are very standard. Susano is still liked by a lot of teams, really highly valued. His hitboxes are a bit wonky, so he still does that get in, get out. Knockups are huge, so he does a lot for teams still.
It's still a very strong first pick. It's I think just like you said, it's kind of like a tried and true first thing. It really doesn't show a whole lot to the enemy team, and then it really just kind of lets you draft any way you like. He fits into most comps, so we'll kind of see how they build this from here. And looking at it now, I can see it looks like we have a Khepri and a Thoth locked in, also pretty standard to the meta, at least from the mid lane and the support.
Yeah, it is. This Khepri, we see a lot of teams, I think, are valuing him at that top 3 support role. I don't personally know if he fits that top 3 bill for me, but a lot of teams are putting him there. So I'm not surprised to see Soulless Prodigies go ahead and take a Khepri this early. Thoth pick, super standard. I think he's fallen out of favor a bit, but it almost seems like he's coming back up. The only thing that's curious to me is that one of Thoth's only poor matchups is into Susano, and they're comfortable picking it right away, so they have to have something. They must have had played against this and know what they're doing.
Exactly. I was just going to kind of touch on that. Picking the Thoth into Susano really is kind of ballsy, if I'm being honest, and because it's not like you said, it is a poor matchup, worse than like a hard counter, but you really just have to be comfortable on it. We see the Cernos and the Hell being covered, the Troll Hell. And Terra pick, that's pretty meta as well. I was honestly surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something else at this point.
Yeah, this is tried and true right here. Cernos, Terra, this is a really strong duo lane. They have the ability to start on their own buffs, or start in lane. They can push decently well. They're going to get a lot of poke out early. If this ROM gets locked in, and it does. They're going to get out cleared. Cernos Terra is going to get out cleared by Khepri and Rom, but they can fight into it if they can poke before the lanes get there. So that could be fun. It'll be interesting to see if they choose to start on their buffs or in the lane.
So if you're looking at this right now, what are you thinking ban wise?
Well, if I'm the Blue Trunks here, Plat and Duel is in the Blue Trunks for those of you at home. Names above them right now. But if I'm Plat and Duel, I'm pretty comfortable with taking out 2 junglers right here. That's me. They might look for like a Sun Wukong. Maybe they don't want to deal with that Sun Wukong survivability, but they have their Susano. I think they're going to go ahead and take out 2 junglers for the boys in the Blue Trunks. If I'm Soulless Prodigies and I'm on red, maybe you take some shots at a mid laner. Susano needs somebody that's going to clear, so maybe take out an Isis, Poseidon. They do take out Poseidon, so I think this is pretty standard. I like what these teams are doing so far.
I think that was a good call as well. I think the Poseidon ban was pretty good. It's Poseidon's also I wouldn't say he's a bad matchup into Thoth. He's just not a fun matchup. It's not something you want to deal with. You don't want to get Kraken while you're trying to charge an ult, and that's just pretty common, especially with once you start grouping up and Poseidon hits that mid to late game phase where he literally starts hundring to 0 people. You really don't want to have to deal with the Kraken, and I feel it's a really smart ban. And yeah, you were exactly right. They're just going to target out jungles here, taking Hunbats away.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I did too.
A lot of teams, Hunbats, he's not top tier right now. We saw a brief Hunbots meta earlier in this season.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore. The itemization really isn't in his favor currently. There are certain players that still play him very well. I'm not sure who the jungler is for Soulless Prodigies, so I don't know. We'll find out. But if a team doesn't want to play against Hunbots, he's a very easy character to play at a
Yeah.
high enough level.
And you were exactly right. Isis banned away and Surcat banned away as well. Double assassin and then double mage taken right out. Looks like they're just targeting roles.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what these teams should be doing, and
especially
I'm
with
not,
what they
not
picked
surprised.
at this point. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not at all. The troll Loki being hovered here. Same. Naja is definitely a more safer pick in my honest opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if they locked the Naja.
And the
here.
Naja is gonna give them the clear that they want and need to be able to pressure this Susano. So
Yeah.
I don't mind this pick. I hope.
And I mean, it's also great setup for the Thoth Doll.
It is. I was just gonna say I hope that they get like one use off of that combo, but I think if they try too hard for that combo, it's really going to bite them. Susano and Terra are really good at punishing positioning. So if you're sitting around waiting for something like that, Susano and Terra are both going to take advantage of that. You really can't sit still against these characters.
Ooh, Vamana.
Yeah, I think this is more in line with where we're seeing in the meta. Vamana's been played. I mean, he's been played. Like, that's about what I'll say about Vamana. He's been played.
Yeah,
Hercules
he really
is in a much better spot right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say from a perspective, I really like the decision here. If they're actually gonna commit to the Herc Soul, I really like this composition so far.
I do too, because this is gonna give Plat and Duel good push in the mid lane. Not much is gonna be played against this Hercules. I suspect it would be a Sun Wukong if anything. And Hercules does get locked in. So I like this comp a lot. Plat and Duel seem to really have a strong comp inside and out.
They have an idea here, and looking at their composition, they're looking for the Herc to kind of give them that extra pressure in the solo a little early, and maybe we'll see some decent rotations out of him in the early to mid game. And then, obviously, once they hit the late game point, they're just going to be shredding with the Soul and the Surge. So I can really see that they're going to be looking to fight.
Killing this Hercules. Absolutely.
You know what? Honestly, I really would like to see the Sobek pick here. I mean, honestly, like I like Wukong a lot, but Sobek really does. I think Sobek's really good against Hercules. It does a really good job of kind of displacing his abilities. We'll have to see. I mean, obviously they're hovering here, so it's really kind of up to chance. Honestly, you couldn't go wrong with Wukong. Vamana's not a bad choice either. Honestly, I would rather see the Wukong over the Vamana, at least with the composition they've drafted so far. It would give them a little bit of extra hard CC, which they are a little lacking on this composition. We'll have to see, though. I mean, it's up to chance.
I think we're going to – I don't know. I think Soulless Prodigies this game are going to have their work cut out for them. Plat and Duel's comp is very strong. It has good early game pressure.
Oh, what did I say?
Wow.
I called it, man.
You called that. But – I like the team comp we have coming out of Plat and Duel still. I think my initial prediction is I'm going to have to give this game to Plat and Duel. I just think Soulless Prodigies is going to have to outplay Plat and Duel to take this W.
I can agree. I mean, looking at these comps, I would agree with you. Like I said, I really like the composition they've drafted with the Cernunnos and the Soul. It's really going to give them a lot of pressure. We'll have to kind of see how it plays out. It's really just going to come down to plays at this point to make sure that they can get in there and get what they need to do.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and hop into the match here.
Just jump right in.
All right, and we're in game now, and it looks like we're gonna have Plat and Duel on order side. So we're gonna have Tough Luck on the Hercules in the solo lane, Vax Prodigy in the jungle on the Susano. We're gonna have Constellation bringing up Soul in the mid lane with Ray-Ban and King Din on that Terra and Cernunnos bringing up the duo lane to round out Plat and Duel. On the side of Soulless Prodigy, boys in the red trunks, we're going to have Sobek being played by Jinkin. We're going to have Naja played by Soccer Kid. We're going to have Thoth to round out that mid-jungle combo played by Romeboy. And Catapult's Hurt and Hazardic are going to bring up the duel lane for the red trunks.
And, you know, I kind of wanted to touch on what we were saying in Picks and Bans there, Thors. I really think I have to kind of agree with you at this point. At least drafting wise, I really do like the composition that Plat and Duel has put together. I really think that this Hercules is going to do a really good job of giving them some pressure on the solo. Now, again, like I said, the Sobek pick is really spicy. I'm a big fan of that matchup. Honestly, it's really just going to come down to how these teams team fight, honestly, with these compositions. They have a lot of sustain out of Souless Prodigy. You know, I mean, with the Kepriel, they have the ability to turn fights at any point. So we'll really have to see how well they are able to fight here and really make sure they can capitalize on these plays.
Yeah, it seems like they have a lot of eggs in the Thoth basket here. With the Sobek, they're not getting a lot of solo lane damage, and I just think Susanna's going to be able to put a Thoth behind. It's what he does.
Oh, yeah. So it looks like pretty standard starts coming out from everybody as well.
It does. We're going to see Plat and Duel start on their red buff here. And this is what I was thinking that these guys were going to do. They know they're going to get out cleared, so they're going to go ahead and start on this red buff, make sure they get this free XP. Yeah. And it gives King Din a buff, so they push harder.
Absolutely. I think it's a good call here. A little bit of poke happening here in the mid lane. Susano taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. He's at half health there. I think I missed that one, but they're going to go ahead and get this speed buff invade.
Naja's a little close here. We'll have to see what he wants to do.
Ring Bounce comes out, doesn't secure anything, just pokes a little bit.
It got him off. Looks like they were actually thinking about committing to that rather than just getting the smalls here.
So they're going to be happy to just go ahead and take the smalls on that and get the mid-camp XP. They're going to hit level 2 here, and the farming's going to be pretty even so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Say Susano not having fun taking those archers, man. Whew.
No, not at all. That's a lot of damage coming out onto Prodigy.
I think he did not intend to take those as long as he did. Some good poke coming out of Soul, though. Lots of damage from Constellation.
Absolutely. And this is what Soul does so well right now. She's able to just clear waves and poke with the same ability. And that's why we see a lot of Soul bans. Over here in the duel lane, it looks like Soul's Prodigy was able to steal away that purple buff early from Plat and Duel. I think we missed that one.
But they went ahead. I think we did as well.
Yeah, we went ahead and started, or they were starting on their buffs, and it looks like they committed to that purple buff and just weren't able to get it.
I like the positioning on a Ray bed here, though.
Absolutely. He's going to miss Rom, but they're going to get a lot of clear here. She has full kit now.
Seen the Oracles being picked up by the jungle mid combo of Soulless Prodigy. Not a lot of contention out there, but it looks like Plat and Duel is going to go ahead and pick up these smalls here and take them away. Try and trade a little bit even there.
Absolutely. And right now, at this stage of the game, it's all about finding your farm. You have to acknowledge what you can and cannot get and take what you can.
Ooh, that would have been a big stun if Rumboy could have connected that.
Absolutely. Over here on the solo lane, it looks like Tough Luck's just really getting the better of this Sobek.
Well, you got to think with this matchup, you know, it's really not a matter of winning for Sobek. Sobek's not looking to win this lane. He's just looking to make this more hard for Hercules. That's really
absolutely. This is a stall lane, and you're playing this for the mid game and for the late game. So if I'm Tough Luck right now, I'm looking to probably start proxying waves here in the next minute or two, and just try and get that. I could rotate on this Sobek.
Big damage coming out in the solo or in the duo lane.
Absolutely, we're seeing Susanna rotate over.
Look on the pole, Susan roll. See the Kepriel come out.
Kepriel did come out. Unfortunately, he came out on himself and Rom ulted. That's a little bit of miscommunication. Kingdon's going to go ahead and pick that first blood up.
That was a very easy first blood. A very good rotation coming out of X Prodigy there.
Absolutely. And that Hercules, he rotated. So his team rotated over. Soul's Prodigy's team rotated over to that dual lane to match that rotation. But Hercules goes ahead and rotates over to the mid lane, picks himself up some more farm. This is what we're going to start seeing this Hercules do. Solo Beck just cannot keep up in farm right now.
And that's the biggest problem with what we had said. Like, we are well aware with the pick that he is not looking to win the lane. He is looking just to make this hard for Hercules. The problem is going to be if Hercules rotates early, like we saw, if we continue to see those early rotations and he picks up anything at all, it's going to be even worse for my man Jinlink over there in the solo lane. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Back in the duo lane, it looks like Raven caught Hazardic, but nothing's going to come of it. They're just going to keep farming up. But to touch back, on that Hercules, looking at his build here, you know, he just has that teleport. He doesn't have a bracer. So to me, that's telling me he's content with taking this farming matchup. He knows just by being Hercules, he's going to have that ability to maybe proxy a wave and rotate with that.
Absolutely.
If he had gotten bracer here, to me, that would have told me he wants to proxy as many waves as possible, rotate in, and force fights.
Yeah.
But by him getting teleport, it seems to me he's like, all right, we're in this. I trust my team enough to not get behind before I hit level 12.
Which is great, which is exactly what you want from your Hercules, honestly, especially into this composition. Like, he knows he's against the Sobek. He doesn't need the bracer in this matchup. Unless, like you said, he wants to push and proxy and really just capitalize on the lane. He's looking just to kind of transition into the mid.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to see him do that flawlessly. We haven't seen the jungler rotate over yet, and it is a Naja, so there's kill potential there.
That was a close pull. That could have been bad for Thoth.
Absolutely, that would have been close. But I
like this a little pressure. Out of position.
I like this pressure coming out of Plat and Duel. Yeah, that's a sloppy beat.
I was going to say they're gonna need to be careful now because that's going to allow for any amount of pressure to come out the Duel if they want to rotate. Thoth is playing super aggressive. I really like the aggression out of here. They're trying to force a fight because they know this is the point where they want to fight. Soul doesn't have a lot of damage at this point in the game, and if they can get anything, it would be worthwhile.
Absolutely. That was a really good split by Plat and Duel.
Oh,
they were able to secure that last Harpy.
Very cheeky Susanoo teleport there. Good ring bounce, enough to connect. Oh, there's the Hercules. That's unfortunate.
Absolutely. He's going to go ahead and force the Naja beads, and I think Soccer for Life is content with just beadsing that and not losing the fight.
Yeah, that would not have been a good place to hold your beads there.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to go ahead and pick up the elementals here. Everybody's just going to keep farming. I think Plat Duel is just going to try and hold this first blood gold and just try and keep farming. You get this Herc as big as possible and just see a little bit more rotation out of him because he's doing a fantastic job of being here, being around.
He is. I think Tough Luck's the person to watch in this matchup, and not because of the players, but just because of the gods that they're on and the abilities that they're going to have.
Vex Prodigy taking a lot of damage there for being a little too pushed up against the Thoth.
Absolutely. And like you were just saying, yeah, this is good grouping. But like you were just saying, Plat and Duel, they're holding on to that goal lead. They have about 1,000 goal lead. They took that spike from the first blood, and it's staying constant. The XP lead actually
Vex Prodigies. You can't stay for one more wave. You can't stay. Oh, very greedy coming out of the
That was just a very clean dash. I mean,
Susanoo was ready. There was nothing to elaborate on.
No. And
so that's knew what he could do.
That's gonna hurt the XP lead. So the XP we're seeing now swinging back and forth. It's a wave by wave basis right now. The gold lead, they're gonna hang on to this gold lead. Like you said though, I'd almost want Plat and Duel to push this a little harder. Go ahead and get that pressure.
I mean, honestly, with their composition, they want to fight with this Hercules early. And honestly, if they can really start to group, I think that's going to be their biggest thing. Is they're going to need to group and fight this team as a team. Unless, obviously Vex can pick up some sneaky 1v1s, because obviously that Susanoo 1v1 potential is massive.
It is. Over here on the right side of the map, Hercules is going to go ahead and
out of position a little bit. That's a good driving strike there. He's going to find himself some time. He pops the heal. He's going to back off. They're nothing. You can't do anything to a level 10 Hercules at this point.
Yeah, and I don't know, that seemed well played by the Sobek to go ahead and pluck him into the team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ooh, that's a good pull. Not much going to come out of that.
Sobek's out of mana here. Tough Luck's going to miss the driving strike, and Poke's just going to be traded back and forth at this point.
I don't really think he missed that. I think that was more of him trying to assert a little bit on this Sobek. If I'm Tough Luck right now, if you know anything about the solo lane matchup, like he knows that he wins this matchup. I mean, he knows that obviously Sobek's just going to try and make this hard for him, and if he can just find any early kill on this and put the Sobek behind, it's just going to be even worse.
Yeah, it really is. So I can't believe I missed this when we were starting out, but King Din opted to go Bluestone and Boombas, which we've seen a couple Hunter players do. I think it was Wowie that started doing this, and I like this call here. They're pulling the Gold Fury right now, Kefri's
Kefri's
watching.
aware, but
Yeah,
I don't think there's a lot he can do against this if it's just
no,
him.
it's just Kefri right now, and they're
This is
perfectly
gonna
well
be free.
aware of
There's
that.
the frenzy. Yeah, there's the Susannaut as well. Yeah, guaranteed gold now.
That was very clean. Hercules teleporting into the backline now.
Like I said, this Herc wants to fight. Not much gonna come out of that knockup. He wants a little bit more though. That's a great pull and a driving strike to get them another kill. Man, so many ults coming out.
Oh, the Rommel from the sky. Who's it gonna pick up? He's gonna miss the third shot. No worries there. Plat and Duel right now is content, but Sobek coming out here.
This is gonna be rough.
Terra's barely gonna get away.
They're not gonna be able to get anything out of that.
This is a good tower defense by Soul's Prodigy.
I mean,
Plat and Duel gets a little aggressive, and they want the tower. It was a good recognition by Soul's Prodigy to get there and defend.
The biggest thing there is Constellation took a lot of damage. I'm not sure if you saw, he did take a tower shot and then got hit hard by that Thoth ult. And
he did. It was a very good Thoth ult. Oh, an unfortunate miss there. It's just not going to be able to be punished.
Okay.
And if I'm Soul's Prodigy right now, I don't want my Sobek in these fights. He's only level 10. He needs to farm more because the carries for Plat and Duel are level 10, and Sobek behind is not going to do much.
I want you to just take a peek at this. As of right now, Najah coming out on tough luck here.
Oh, that was an absolutely clutch stun coming out of the Thoth. Vax Prodigy just chasing a bit too hard.
That's the problem. You can't be super aggressive here.
Back into the solo lane. Tough Luck's happy to just heal up.
He's just trading off here.
He
got the Najah.
This is a good knowledge that this rotation is probably coming out of the Thoth. Thoth dashes in, stun connects.
Lots of damage coming out. He's not really going to be able to turn anything out of that. He takes the tower shot for it. But really what I wanted to touch on, look at my man Tough Luck's build here.
Yeah, I mean, this is an unusual build path, but I like it. Tier 1 items, especially the Talisman, has a lot of value. The stun connects again. Thoth is good.
Thoth connects, not enough damage.
Just not enough damage. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I feel like Tough Luck was just playing up a little too much there. He took a lot of extra damage that he didn't need to. Once that ult came out, he really could have just driving stroke out and just sat back under a tower because he knew he was getting rotations from them for free. So I'm just a little curious what was going through his mind when he was kind of pushing up like that. Because it definitely, if that Thoth had any extra opportunity to charge, it would have been a kill.
Yeah, it would have been. And you were mentioning his build earlier. Well, he's going to go ahead and skip finishing the breastplate off, and he finishes the Pestilence. So he's obviously worried about that magic damage coming out of the Thoth.
I was gonna say he's worried about the magic damage, and he wants to. I really think personally, out of that comp, the only thing you're really shutting that down with is the Najah heal. I don't see a lot more. Obviously, a little bit of sustain through the Sobek as well, but it just doesn't seem like it's gonna do a whole lot for me. I do like the Pestilence though as an item, though. It's really gonna give his team a little bit more of a chance to fight.
It is
third up here.
It is, and this is a good play on the Oracles right now. They know they have the dual lane zoned. They'll secure both.
Lots of damage.
Lots of damage coming out in Constellation. Thoth actually uses his Aegis.
We see the Aegis though.
I was a bit curious, but it might have been a misclick.
Susanna's positioning up. He's looking for a pull. Oh, that was such a good ult. Soccer Kid for life, clutching that. Not going to get a lot out of it though. Wow, the solo ult's big too. Capriol used.
Capriol comes out just in case, but that was a big solo. It looked like they might have had a bit more damage there, and they would have gotten those kills.
Yeah, I think they were a little more concerned about killing the Najah, but they didn't actually commit to it. Like, we didn't see anything come out from the Terror right away, except for the wall stun. So I'm not sure what they were actually thinking. It looked like they wanted to commit more than they thought they were going to do.
They're going to go ahead and start playing with the Portal Demon here, though.
Frenzy's being popped. They're committing. Susanoo and Herc all committed. Yep, that's down. Not a whole lot that Souless Prodigy can do about that either.
That was clean, and I think Souless Prodigy are not valuing how much this Frenzy's doing for Plat and Duel.
Oh, I agree.
That was a huge Thoth ult. Vax Prodigy is forced completely out of the
fight.
That's
a great snipe.
Hazard picks him up with the ROM ult. That is beautiful. I mean, that's exactly really what you want out of your ROM.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, they really need to get the kills that they can. At this point, like they're a little more than 2K down, so it's really good for them to take these kills that they can get. And I really think that obviously that Thoth ult and ROM ult combo is very strong for picking backline that gets shredded by that ult, and that's exactly what they did.
It is, and the XP difference is what's going to start coming into play a lot more than the goal difference, because right now we have two players. Wow, we saw a solo kill
Kingdon's
happen over
playing
there.
up huge. He's chasing his Khepri as well. He's backing
Yeah.
off now. A little too deep for him.
Yeah, I mean, that was just very well played. Very good aggressive
Error
dash.
here. Oh my god!
Back into the mid lane, Solo is going to go ahead and clean up Homeboy.
You gotta think at this point, what's going on through Souless Prodigy here? I don't honestly. I'm a little concerned with why they were positioning as, like, obviously they know the damage coming out of the Soul and the Terra. Like, the CC potential out of the Terra is enough to want to reposition yourself. They just chose to try and fight that, and I'm not really sure why. It just seems like it might have been a bad call on them.
And them not being aware of that timer, because we know that the Khepri stuck around for the Gold Fury, and that's just a miscommunication in comms of not recognizing when it was going to be back up. You play too aggressive, you get picked for it, and they're going to take another Gold Fury absolutely free this time.
Just going to keep pushing this lead. Tough Luck's looking to take this blue buff here. Naja's here to try and do something, but that's a Naja being used. Let's see, Khepri's rotating over as well. It looks like they might try and commit to kill this Hercules.
And that's just not a smart move right now. This Hercules is level 15, and he gets a Terra ult. I just don't think they kill him.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't get anything out of that. If anything, it's actually better for Plat and Duel to rotate now like they are, because Naja ult being down. You see both ults being used. Sobek ult being down, Khepri ult down now as well. I think they might just give that up. Terra's looking to aggress, though. That's a great route.
There's a beautiful sunder by Terra. Terra's out here just sundering and rooting. Raven's happy to pick up that kill. Like, don't worry, guys. I got this for you.
Absolutely. All right. Tough Luck's back. Teleport being used. Unfortunately, didn't secure the blue. Frenzy's being popped for this right tower.
And Soul's happy to sit here and do this. Now, they can take this fight all day long because they have tower push with Soul.
And they have Herc back now, too, so if Terra doesn't want to commit, Herc can just as well commit as Terra can.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have this Soul damage now. We saw Soul be able to get a kill in the mid lane, but her ult probably would have killed Naja earlier if she had had that Bancroft. She chose to go for the helmet first and finish Bancroft off the third item, but now that Bancroft is online, they have an insane amount of mid lane damage.
A little bit of pinch she's going to get from Helmet's going to kind of just help a little bit with the siege as well. But I mean, we see Kingdon rotate over as well. So at this point, they're just going to start grouping up, and I like this call from them to group as a team and just start stripping away as much as they can from Souless Prodigy at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look towards the charts now, we're going to start to see a very steep incline in spite of the fact that Thoth is holding on to that top player damage. I mean, just miles ahead.
And just like you said, this XP difference is really going to be start being more noticeable than this gold difference at this point in the game, because we're approaching that 17-minute mark, and you're really going to start feeling not only the item discrepancy coming out from these teams because of the gold lead, but this XP lead is really going to make it hard. Like you said, this Hercules lead up on this Sobek is just immense at this point. I mean, it's almost.
And if you're the Sobek, this is about the best position you can be in.
Exactly.
I mean, Sobek just doesn't play solo lane anymore, and it's not a bad matchup into the Hercules, but the meta is in such a different state than when Sobek was relevant that he's not able to rotate. When Sobek was in meta for the solo lane, it was all about solo laners never rotated.
Yeah. And ooh, they're looking here. I was going to say, it looks like a warding boxing match we've got here.
It is. This is a slap fight between the supports. We see Khepri spam lap a little bit because he got the better of the ward. I like this. This is the cheeky play.
I like this decision to aggress on this tier 1. Between their two carries, there's really not a lot for them to be scared of. The CC is good. As the Thoth Aegis, they're going to be a little bit appealed. The Khepri I'll use way early.
Yeah, this is a very early Khepri ult.
I don't know what Catapult was thinking. Oh, Susanoo ult coming out. Rom gets up just in time.
I think and we're going to see who they turn on, but the Frenzy was popped. Sobek ult in the back right now is really zoning out a lot of people.
Yeah, he zoned a lot, but he didn't do anything on top of it. To watch the back pedal there. There's a meditation being used out of Souless Prodigy. They might look to re-engage here, but they're trying to deal with this Terra heal. Khepri's down.
Absolutely
this is bad.
Beautiful pull into the Soul ult, just destroying what was left of Soul's Prodigy. Another Aegis used, this time by Naja. He's also going to have to ult out.
Well, Sobek's dead for this too.
Yeah, absolutely. They're happy to take these 2 towers and 3 kills.
So
they might keep going.
Oh, it's a good pull. It looks like they don't want to commit though. Oh, Kingdon's trying. Oh, that's unfortunate.
And
Su
that's
should have
just so
backed out just enough to let the Phoenix
absolutely.
leash back
And
to him.
this is greed by Plat and Duel, and when you're in the position they're in, you can choose to be this greedy, but you don't want to see that happen too much. I think this is miscommunication. Constellation should take this Phoenix every day of the week because he has Disapparate. He was even in Disapparate form for that shot that would have killed King Did. So this is either miscommunication
just minor things,
or greed.
honestly. Yeah, I was gonna say just minor things. Just like you said, it's more of a matter of they just need to kind of stay on top of this. They're at the point where their lead is starting to become very, very large against Souless Prodigy. Looks like they're gonna start up the portal demon here. I don't think they're gonna get any contention out of this.
King Din's ticket right back into the fight, so I'm not too worried about this.
That was close.
That
was real close.
It was between the Thoth
and the Khepri.
His one and the Khepri root. That was almost stolen away by Plat and Duel.
That could have been real bad. And it's nice to finally see that Vex Prodigy is actually getting some kills under his belt because he was 0-3, pre the last 2 minutes. Looks like Souless is going to group up and try and get this gold and get it done so they can take this away from them. At least try and stay in this.
Yeah, I like this call by them. They do get it. The Wild Hunt being used a little late. I think if he starts off with that and then uses the Bramble Bush, it's a bit better because obviously his ult does no damage to objectives. But over here on the right side, we see a lot of aggression coming out onto the Thoth. Ult's getting used right now. Knockup is good. Hercules Boulder coming out. And that's going to pick up the kill.
Better. Yeah, no, that's the problem with Thoth is he is not CC immune in his ult. And you can also, the fact that he's not CC immune means you can be knocked up before you can even use your ult. And that's his biggest pitfall. They're just going to look to pick the Khepri here. They force the ult.
They force his ult.
Pararu's good. Kingdom's going to pick that kill up. Ooh, Tough Luck takes it.
Naja ult just off the mark. Cervical also charging at the moment. Constellation's happy to pick the kill up. They're still on the Sobek and the tower.
They're going to look to push this right lane and probably just take the Phoenix off this. They could even go fire if they wanted to, but the Phoenix is pretty much guaranteed with all 4 of them being down. Oh, looks like they're going to back Rama up. Ooh, Rama. Oh,
third shot jumps off the mark. Back Prodigy gets away with his life.
They tried. A worthy effort. Fire Giant's going to be started up here for Plat and Duel, and we're at the point now where they do have a very extensive. Back's
Prodigy just walked into
I don't know what
he just walked into the fire.
I don't know what Vex was thinking there.
This is new strats coming right at you live from Plat and Duel, boys.
Plat and Duel strats confirmed. Dash into Fire Giant to die. The best reset. Wow.
That was incredible.
I was actually just talking up Vex about how he was improving from the mid game to the late game. Now that he's got a damage online, he can start to dive a little harder.
He can't go positive. It's the new strat. You gotta make sure you're negative. That's what it is.
F for our fallen brother, Vex Prodigy, indeed. So I imagine at this point, as Plat and Duel, what are you thinking here? You're really just going to start grouping and just pushing, right? Like those.
I think you take that left Phoenix. I think you send one person to push a wave. You group in left. Let somebody split push that middle tower down. Probably your Hercules or Terra, and you just send everybody else to the left lane, and that way you're pushing 2 lanes at the same time.
It looks like they're going to push up mid here, and I know the Souless Prodigy is not in a stance at this point to really want to contest this. No, they are safer. They are safer farming and fighting on Phoenix, but it looks like, just like you said, Herc's going to come up here and get himself a little XP, try and bait some people out from Souless Prodigy. He's looking just to driving strike anybody into that Kingdom right now.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're going to fall for it.
I would have liked to have seen some members of Plat and Duel stay in the mid lane, just so they could have kept both of the waves pushed, because now somebody's going to have to go back for that wave if they want it. They seem to have shot themselves in the foot. They're going to have to really dive this Phoenix now.
You got to think they've got Soul and Cernos here. Like, they're really not too worried about taking this objective.
Absolutely. Herc Boulder coming out. So is Zana ult.
Kingdom ult's good as well. Thought ult's good. Not enough damage. Naja ult's going to connect.
Phoenix goes down remarkably fast. That's just a Cernos and a soul damage. The Khepri ult right on time, saving the life. Hazardic almost dying again, but he'll stay alive for now. Beads on the Thoth. They're going to happily siege up this middle Phoenix.
Oh, Herc's looking for more. Tough Luck once more here. Ooh, that's a big stun. Soul needs to be extremely careful. That's not going to matter. They're just going to keep diving.
That was an absolutely insane.
Ooh, great snipes out of Hardstick, though.
Absolutely. Hardnet's been on point with the snipes most of this game, shy of that one
Yeah, I
Souless
mean,
snipe.
it's but what's to be said? I mean, better late than never is a statement that can only get you so far. They just lost all 3 Phoenixes in less than a minute and a half. There's really
Yeah.
not,
All for the
it's not the
price of
time to
Vax
try and make
Prodigy.
plays. Yeah.
But tried and true, Vax Prodigy staying true to his, can't go positive motto.
So yeah, at this point they're just gonna strip the jungle. They're gonna take away what they can, and I think they're gonna look to probably back and buy unless this portal demon comes up, which I think they're just gonna wait for it, grab it, and back. It's a pretty smart play at this point. Obviously, with all 3 Phoenixes down, they're just gonna look to end this game on the next team fight. There's really no reason not to.
This game's over
they're selling their
soon.
cerns online. I mean, honestly, it's pretty good. It's almost irrelevant.
It is. If you're Soul's Prodigy right now, you're laughing that Vex Prodigy died to Fire Giant, and B, you're talking about the next game. What can we do to go ahead and get a win? Because this is a 2-game set, and points are awarded per win. So this isn't like the SPL where you get 3 points for a sweep and 0 points for a loss or 1 point for a split. This in the Phoenix Smite League right now, we're awarding 1 point per win. So if it's a sweep, it's just 2 points still, and it lets our teams kind of compete at a little bit higher level, and be able to make sure that the teams that win the most games are advancing to the playoffs and to the relegations that they want. So Absolutely. If I'm Soul's Prodigy, I'm thinking, how do we salvage a point out of this set? How do we win next game?
So if you're Souless Prodigy, your biggest thing, at least here, would probably be your composition. I like the Sobek in theory, right? It's got a lot of that's so much damage coming on Gen Link though. He needs to be really careful. Tough Luck not going to connect the knockup. Thorn's going to be prompt.
He will get the push onto the
Rom snipes Khepri. Are good. Khepri ult is down. The Kingdon ult misses completely.
Sobek plugged just
on the mark. Oh my lord.
That thought was absolutely insane.
Kingdon's down here. This is really sloppy for Plat and Duel.
This is just
sloppy.
What went wrong here, Philly?
Honestly, it just seems like they put way too much in the Khepri with the Khepri ult being up, and they didn't proc it immediately. That's a good Terra route to kind of slow this down. They're going to try and force minions in here to get a little more damage on this Titan, but I don't think it's really going to matter. They've got Thoth and Rama up. They're going to be able to clear these minions out no problem and try and chase any kills they can if they need to. I don't know. It's going to be tough, though. Titan is at under 30% health here, just falling to these minions.
Yeah, these minions are really running the Titan. It's going to get a nice little reset, though, so that's going to give it a nice
good leash, but it's not going to do a lot because you've got fire minions pouring in from both sides. And it looked like Tough Luck wants to shove another wave here to try. Oh, he tried for the ult.
Just off the mark.
That was a poor decision out of Tough Luck.
He'll die for this.
Way too greedy.
It was.
That is the fight that Souless Prodigy needs. That fight right there gave them not even, I wouldn't even say like a chance at the game. They're still very far behind. It gave them the momentum, though. It gives them enough to say, hey, we just want to fight.
Exactly. This gives them the confidence they need, and it gives Rom the stacks he needs on his rage. So now if you're Soul's Prodigy, you're saying, hey, maybe we can hold on to this game, but we know we got to get these Phoenixes up. Yeah. We know we got to let our Titan heal.
The problem is all these fire minions are going to make it hard for these Phoenixes to stay alive. Yeah. Like, Fire's getting started now by Plat and Duel. It's already half health.
It is.
But not even a point of contention.
Right now, you have to give it up. You have to.
Yeah, you have no opportunity to fight.
Your last 2 Phoenixes are getting ready to spawn. Push those waves. Sit on your Phoenixes. Let your Titan heal. You don't want to let these Phoenixes die again. If you can, you fight them in the lanes right now.
Yeah. You don't want to give them the opportunity to push up at all. You want to fight as much up as you possibly can. And Plat Duel's just going to start pulling in here. We see the teleport coming out from Tough Luck, and they're going to look to end here.
Absolutely. Susanna's going to split push in the right lane as well.
Take one out and just try and keep the fire minions. Driving Strike is not connecting to the Naja beads. See a good Khepri pull coming out and left. Sobek's probably the Khepri ult comes out. We might actually see a reset on that. Might be a little. Oh, that was very close.
That was almost. That Khepri ult was almost gone.
It was.
Plat and Duel, all 5 strong. All 3 Phoenixes down.
1, 2, 3 connect. A lot of damage coming out. Ooh, Aegis from Soul. Ooh, Romboy's down. This is gonna be tough. A lot of damage. Kingdon ult's gonna connect on 3, and that's the game. That's the problem there, though. Like I said, that gave them the momentum to want to take another fight. But the problem is they were just so far behind. And all 3 Phoenixes down. If it was 1 or 2, it might have been a different story. Just all 3 of them being down. It was just a little rough. But we'll have to jump in next game and take a look and see what they're going to change up here from Souless Prodigy to try and give themselves a chance at a split.
Yeah, and if you're Souless Prodigy, you have to address the issue of our composition. I mean, they felt reactionary the entire way through. They seem to have not wanted the matchup. I don't think they realized the matchup of the Susano into the Thoth. Happily picked it, went, oh no, because we saw Susano dive onto that Thoth through his dash a couple times, and even though the Susano was dying for it, Soul was getting the kills, and that just puts Soul ahead. And Susano's happy to die for that.
You know, honestly, if I'm Souless Prodigy at this point, I'm looking to take away that Hercules from Tough Luck, because honestly, that was a problem. If you can't play against it, go ahead and take it away. But you know, we'll have to see. We're going to go ahead, and I believe we're going to go ahead and get a pause and get the next game started up here. If you guys want to stay tuned for that, we're going to get that going, and then we'll jump into picks and bans for game 2.